Hey, folks, some breaking news from the border. Customs and Border Patrol confirming that more than 150,000 encounters in January. That's nearly double the encounters in January of 2020 and the worst January at the border in over 20 years. Our border correspondent, Jason Jones, brought us these numbers, and he joins us now live. Jason.
Heather, Bob, it's great to be with you. We've had an incredible week, embedded with the men and women of the Pinal County Sheriff's Office all week. We have seen a lot of things from the air to the ground. But last night, it finally all came together as we rode with the man himself, America's Border Sheriff, Mark Lamb. And we'd been in the car with him maybe 5 minutes when the first pursuit started of 3 in 3 hours, Bob. And this pursuit reached speeds of 125 miles an hour before finally ending and the individual wrecking out, jumping out of the vehicle, and fleeing on foot. He was later taken into custody by Pinal County Sheriff's Office finest. But 3 individuals in the vehicle that we found, all in the United States illegally, had just been picked up. I just want to say one thing on this. This was 70-plus miles in the United States. We're not on the border. This was Interstate 10, which is actually behind me here. And so I want to make sure that that's clear, because I think there's this perception that everything is happening on that river when really it's happening much further in. But that wasn't the only thing. Once we cleared that scene, we left, went to help another officer. He had stopped a vehicle with 10 illegal aliens inside. Again, all wearing camouflage, just been picked up. It's extremely busy here. Here's where I'm going with this. There is no doubt we are under a full invasion as to what's happened. I've never seen anything like it. We're on Texas all the time, but out here in Arizona, I can tell you the men and women of law enforcement are extremely, extremely busy.
Jason, what happens to those folks when they get picked up? Where do they go?
Well, it depends if they've got state charges. The smuggler, local or state law enforcement, will take state charges on them. So for the pursuit that happened last night in the crash, that individual was arrested and charged. He was a 21-year-old from the Phoenix area. Now, another individual that was stopped, he was turned over to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So it really depends, because that's one of the problems they have here in Arizona, Bob. They don't have smuggling charges at the state and local level. They've got to rely on the feds for that. So sometimes they've literally got to let them go while all the people that they picked up that were here illegally are turned over to Border Patrol. But yet that smuggler drives off to do it again.
Now, I guess a couple scenarios I'm wondering about. One is if it is a smuggler and they are charged. We've seen across the country now easy on crime DAs and that sort of thing, so that they're on the streets. Now, these are folks who are illegal to begin with. Are they let go out on the street for a later court date? Are they given bail?
It all depends. That's the real thing. And we got to remember, when we talk about this border crisis, we still remember it, I believe, most Americans, as a U.S.-Mexico problem. Some of those folks were not just from Mexico. They were Guatemalan, they were Honduran, El Salvadorian. So, the world is coming now. So it depends on whether they claim some kind of status to be able to stay here legally through asylum or credible fear, and what country of origin they're coming from. That's the real issue with all of this. And did they commit state charges by fleeing from law enforcement, depending upon whether those charges are filed at the state level or at the federal level.
Yeah, and I know we've talked a lot before. What happens, some of these people get picked up, taken in, given a date to appear, they don't appear, and the cycle continues, and the open border keeps waving down to people south of the border saying, come on in. So, Jason, thank you so much for your report.
Thank you. Always good to be with you guys.